Hi everyone, welcome to May 1st.
New beginnings.
New beginnings.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So we thought we'll include you in today's readings and I'll share afterwards.
Sounds good. Healing heart and mind. Admitted to a loving creator, to ourselves, and to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. Since it is true that a loving creator comes to me through people, I can see that by keeping people at a distance. I also keep my higher power at a distance. My creator is nearer to me than I think, and I can experience them by loving people and allowing people to love me. But I can neither love nor be loved if I allow my secrets to get in the way.
Oh wow, that's powerful.
Okay, you want to read that?
Sure. It's the side of myself that I refuse to look at that rules me. I must be willing to look at the dark side in order to heal my mind and heart, because that is the road to freedom. I must walk into darkness to find the light, and walk into fear to find peace. By revealing my secrets and thereby ridding myself of guilt, I can actually change my thinking. By altering my thinking, I can change myself. My thoughts create my future. What I will be tomorrow is determined by what I think today. Wow.
So what'd you hear?
So I heard, I love that second bit, especially the side of myself I refuse to look at rules me. It's true. And we think, it's funny because we think by not looking at those sides that they will go away and that they will not rule us.
Right.
But it's that self-denial that is happening live, those sides are ruling us. Those insecurities, those fears, if we choose not to look at them, it's like weeds creeping into the garden, they will they'll be there. They're silently growing and festering underneath all the image of what's outside. So I like that, that's what I kind of see in my mind. And I like it that you must walk into darkness to find the light and walk into fear to find peace.
True.
Right?
True.
It is true, yeah. And it's only through darkness and when you go to the, darkest places of your being and sit in that, and then slowly come out to find the light. Walking into fear to find peace. What did you hear from this today?
I'm only as sick as my secrets. So for me, my darkness historically has been things I've said or done that don't align with my spirit. If I treat somebody unkindly, I'm not going to be okay with it regardless of how they treated me.
Yeah.
If I isolate and self-destruct through isolating and self-destruction, self-destruction isn't for me drinking today, yet I can go to self-pity and isolate from other people feeling too different. And there have been times in a program that I belong to where we listen to each other's darkness.
Yeah.
And by doing that, instead of feeling judgmental towards the other person, I can usually identify. Not everybody knows what success feels like, but everyone knows frustration.
Yeah.
Right? Not everyone knows spiritual balance. Everyone knows agony of being alone. And I think most diseases of the mind, alcoholism, shopping addiction, porn addiction is huge. It's trying to be somewhere than where I am. And if I don't like who I am, of course I'm going to want to be anywhere than where I am. I guess I would have a little note of caution where I can go to the darkness and become morose.
Mm.
And my mind will tell me, gosh, look what a drain you are on the people you love. Look at the negative influence you've had. And then suicide ideation might pop in the back of my mind. Might not be something I even see.
Mm.
But ultimately, if I'm too dirty to love, I'm going to reject others who want to love me. So, taking that risk of revealing the fear is good. Sitting in it is the tricky part. How do I get out of fear? A lot of times I do have to, why don't I do this? Why aren't I open to this or that? And chasing through casting helps me reveal.
Mm.
And most of the time, most of the people, it seems, are frequently wrong and emotionally twisted. We
Right.
all are to some
We all
degree,
are.
right?
Yeah, it's true.
So how do I use the darkness for the betterment? I
Mm.
think is that sharing with another person. I think to do this
Yeah.
alone is where the setup comes. I can lose my balance quickly and lose perspective quickly.
Mm.
Where, like, talking with you about things or someone else I trust, I usually come to greater understandings.
Yeah.
What chokes me
Mm.
is what I don't talk about.
Mm.
What I don't talk about chokes me.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it takes on an unrealistic proportion. It's bigger than it probably is. But in my mind, it's really big. How do I talk about, how would I say about, and I think we have a good pattern of talking about everything.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I
Right.
mean? Talking about everything, and there's no taboo subject for us. Even if one or the other is not open to talking about something at the time, and we delay the conversation until both people are present,
Yeah.
both people are able to hear whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it safe to explore. And I don't know that a lot of couples, it's taken us a lot of work to get to this point.
Yeah.
And if I don't look at what I'm doing that's not helping this relationship, then I'm going to just keep repeating it. April showers bring May flowers. Well, am I showering my life with kindness and love, or am I showering it with anger and resentment? Because I'm going to grow whatever I planted.
Exactly.
I
That's
can't,
true.
right? Can't plant tomatoes and get watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I planting today? And part of that is the thought process, my head and my heart. What am I planting in my head? Do I have a good life? Do I have a good day? Do I have a good family? Right? Or do I have a bad day? Do I have a bad life? Do I have a bad family? When people compare to other people, there's always greater or lesser.
No.
No matter how big of a dog you are, there's always a bigger dog.
Grass is always greener, however we choose to look at it. Mm.
Yep.
Very true.
You want to read yours for today?
Sure. And we'll just share one more here.
Sounds good.
Me first.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Insight is Cheap by
Wow.
Martha Roth.
All right, Martha, here we go.
For years, we kept ourselves in a split condition. With one part of our minds, we looked at ourselves and said, I do some self-destructive things because I don't believe I deserve love. When we became involved with unsuitable people or abused our bodies, we said, I am punishing myself. I'm expecting too much. I neglect my own needs. We may see clearly how and why we get in our own way, but unless we have faith in a power greater than ourselves, we won't step aside. We won't let go. We'll do the same thing and understand ourselves the same ways. We may even use our insight to keep ourselves stuck, to protect ourselves from the risk of change. Now, having had a spiritual awakening, having come to believe in something that can restore us, we possess a gift more powerful than the keenest insight, faith in our ability to grow and change. We are children of the universe. All the creative power of this universe streams through us. if we don't block it.
Mm.
Today, I will have faith and all will be well.
Wow, that's nice. What'd you think?
That made me laugh, huh? Inside is cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No! Inside is expensive. You know, it takes a lot to get that insight.
True.
But the context of how she described it, that, you know, it's funny because I almost felt caught, like she just exposed one of my things or defects. We may even use our insight to keep ourselves stuck, to protect ourselves from the risk of change. You know, that is something that I did well, you know, and I'm still unraveling my mind and how quick it is to self-deceive, how quick it is to self-justify.
Right.
Like, oh my God, you know, the things that I used to justify so quickly just because I didn't want my heart to be hurt, you know, justifying on the behalf of others even and behaviors of other people.
True.
Was what I used to do. And then justifying my position on it, playing God, you know, like all of it. No wonder I couldn't begin to let go. It is hard to let go, you know. Sometimes on a daily basis we go through those moments, you know. It depends what we're letting go. These days I realize, you know, it's just literally about like taking a breath, stopping that acceleration, you know, that train that's going it's stopping all that and just going, you know, just breathing in and going, you know, it's okay, this the outcome of this is bigger than me, you know, right now. Why am I sweating over it? You know, investing that energy and thinking and feelings into something that I have absolutely no control over. It's becoming easier to let go, but I remember how hard it was at the start.
Yeah.
We fight to hold on and we fight to let go, you know. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It was a good one, actually.
I like that.
What about you? Do you have anything to share about that?
Well, I used to think that my thinking would change my thinking.
Right? I did that too.
And then my actions would change. You know, I would drink, but I'll drink less. I'll drink something different. I'll drink quicker. I'll drink later. You know, I was always trying to control that drinking. And while, you know, the years and years that I was drinking alcohol abusively, I was wondering why problems didn't get resolved. Because if I get a reprieve from them, let's say because I'm numb in my head, I'm drunk, right? If it worked, then the next day, those problems I drank over would be gone. They'd be gone. And I've learned that I had to change my behavior first, which is difficult. That's that faith. You know, people are saying, oh, you stop drinking, your life can get better. I'm like, according to who? What do you mean better?
Right.
What are you offering me? Because I can go numb. What are you giving me in place of numb? And they're like, faith. I'm like, ah, shit. You know, I had faith in alcohol. That's where my faith was. Alcohol will make me numb. And it was true. And it numbed a decade plus of my life, where I was in my life physically, but not connecting to other people on a deep and meaningful way. Not revealing my insecurities, fears, and doubts so I could walk through them. I was always trying to go around or go under or go over, but the only way through it is through it. You know, I used to swear a lot. Like every sentence was punctuated. And part of that was being somebody who grew up female in the 70s, where, you know, you can be a secretary, you can be a nurse, or you can be a teacher. Right? Yeah. And you must be married and change your name, and you must. And I instantly rebelled. I'm like, no, not me. I'm going to have a secretary. I'm not going to be a secretary. And even that's misogynistic. Right?
It is the basis, yeah.
And when I stopped swearing to the degree that I used to, periodically I'm going to engage in old behaviors. I recognize that. I'm not going to drink because I'm not willing to have the consequences of that. For me, that kicks in motion self-destruction. Because if I drink, then drugs get put on the table.
Yeah.
And then I'm not a gambler, but I'll for sure go to gambling. And I've never done meth, and I'll for sure go. Because when I'm on the downward spiral, it takes acceleration, where faith is an upward climb.
That's right.
That's why I hit the bottom so damn fast.
Right.
Because I'm like, and it's just this cycle where I'm like a dragon devouring its own tail.
Yes.
I'm eating myself alive, and then I'm wondering why I'm in so much pain. And so today I'm like, I don't want to be in pain before I make a change. I want to make the change before I get to the pain.
Wow.
And so that's, connecting to what we just read about chasing into that darkness. We all have darkness on a daily basis. I'm going to fail and make a ton of mistakes today, for a fact. And instead of saying, I'm a mistake, that was the dilemma. I couldn't treat people badly and feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Period. If I act like an entitled asshole, then I'm going to alienate and harm people. If I act like a victim that always needs rescuing, I'm going to alienate people. So either way, I'm always pushing people away to create that self-fulfilling prophecy of I deserve to die alone. And my crime was my human condition. That's my crime. I was born and I made mistakes that I'm required to make in order to grow.
Exactly. Right?
Right? So how do I separate making mistakes from being a mistake? And I found it's through altruism. By helping other people and not expecting anything in return. Like literally, I get calls if someone says, meet me here, I'm in this kind of situation, I really need to process some, I will be there. I will be there without excuses. If I were drinking, I'd be bailing all the time.
Yeah. Right?
So now I can trust myself to show up, but I had to change the behavior first for the thinking to change. And I had it backwards for decades.
Me too. Like I always thought you'd had to change the way you think.
Yeah.
Then it, naturally follows that you change the way you behave. But, right? You almost have to throw yourself into the changing of your behavior.
When in an early fellowship in a program I belonged to, you announce your name and describe your condition, whether 12-step models or, I'm powerless over shopping, I'm powerless over drinking, whatever that was. I didn't understand how I could be okay and be powerless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was taking childhood memories and assuming they'd be replicated if they were painful or and when I look over the course of my life, there is not one other human on this earth who has screwed me over worse than me. Not one.
Yeah. That's
Not
true.
one person has spoken to me as negatively, as cruelly. You know what I mean? No one's treated me worse than me, yet I'm trusting me to guide me. I've already proven that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So how do I have the faith? Act as if. And I would say, my name is Rock, I'm a what have you, and I'm a good person. And the reason I started that was to fake it till you make it. Act as if I'm a good person, and maybe I'll act like it more and more. I know how to act like an asshole.
Right.
I know how to be selfish. Do I know how to be altruistic? Do I know how to be empathetic? That's what I'm learning still, right? I've had more practice being an asshole than a nice person. Just true. When I drink, whose feelings was I taking into consideration? When I was angry, how was I evaluating how I was affecting other people? Or this is how I feel. Great, you can feel how you want. That doesn't give you permission to step on someone else's neck.
No, it doesn't. It's not.
Someone cuts me off in the car. That's my choice if I'm going to chase after them on the highway.
True.
So I don't want to chase chaos anymore. So sometimes when I don't know what to do, I just sit still. I might not be able to let it go. I can let it be for a minute.
Right? That's true. Let it be before you let it go, right? It's true, because we can't just instantly go,
No. It takes a lot of practice.
Just letting it be. I like that. Letting it be.
Let it be.
Right?
Beatles. Yeah.
So May 1st, let it be.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Right?
I forgot we were being,
Let it be.
Yeah. All right, let it be. Sounds good. Thanks,
Thank you for
everybody, for
joining us.
joining us.